As you know, the nation has been going through very difficult economic times lately. This has been termed the worst recession since the Great Depression. The sales of all goods are down, sales of services are down, the average income has gone down, and the GDP is falling precipitously. Though this is the case, it is the government's, or at least my opinion, that in recent years, citizens have been relying far too much upon the government to support them in their endeavors. They feel that if something goes wrong with their finances, it is the government's job to solve their problems for them. With this in mind, it is my opinion that as a nation, we need to get off our backsides and help ourselves. And so, with this principle of self-determination and equality of treatment, I would like to outline the following policies. As you know, the auto industry has been receiving extensive bailouts of late. In 2008, they were given $17.4 billion on the condition that by May, they would have developed a system that could sustain the companies outside of government funds. With this in mind, the government I hereby refuse to pass any bill that will give the auto industry any more money for the purposes of keeping them afloat. The auto industry was given an ultimatum with the $17.4 billion to produce a viable solution. If they have not done so, it shows that they cannot be trusted with public funds in any way. It also shows that if they cannot come up with a viable model, then there is simply no point in continuing to support them. The government is not in the business of supporting corporations that cannot survive on their own. That being said, the government will provide money to corporations that have provided a viable model but need capital to make it work. I will only pass bills that provide money to the auto industry to recapitalize, not to support them. Now, the issue of offshore drilling has been brought up of late. It is my opinion that there is absolutely no need to start drilling in the outer continental shelf. The price differences that would be made would be absolutely minimal. They would not be significant in any way. The outer continental shelf is also the only remaining untapped reserve that the United States has. It is my opinion that it should be saved for times of need when, say, we face serious oil embargoes from other nations, and we absolutely must drill that oil. This is why I refuse to pass any bill that will allow drilling in the outer continental shelf. With this in mind, I believe that we should approve plans to increase research into alternative energy and nuclear energy. By doing this, we will decrease our reliance on foreign oil for electricity production. In addition to this, I believe the government should provide subsidies for those who wish to buy electric or hybrid vehicles. In this way, citizens may reduce their own reliance on gasoline and oil. I also firmly believe that if citizens are truly interested in lowering our consumption of petroleum, and they truly believe that it is too expensive, they will act in their own interests to lower their own consumption. I do not believe that the government should force them to do so. If we are to do so, that would be foolish and would demonstrate that we are taking care of them, something which I firmly believe the government should not do. On the issue of unlawful combatants, it is my firm opinion that as a nation, it is our job to lead the international community in a moral example. For this reason, the United States Armed Services will no longer treat anyone as an unarmed combatant. Instead, anyone captured in any sort of military operation will be considered a POW. This is for reasons of simple human dignity. There is absolutely no justification for waterboarding, stress techniques, or any of the other abominable techniques that have been used in Guantanamo Bay these past few years. With this in mind, I will not be closing the Guantanamo Bay military base overseas. The issue has been raised of keeping foreign combatants on US soil, and I agree that this poses an unacceptable risk to our citizens. As such, the base will remain open, but the policies will be changed radically so that the prisoners will be treated fairly and justly. They will have access to attorneys, they will have the right to a trial, and every other right that should be afforded to them under the Geneva Conventions.